And I'll focus more on the Ukraine than others because I think that's what is the highlight, if you will, of what we're in the middle of doing. We did, and tied into hand wash, we did approve a grant last month for $490,000 for hand wash in a village in Artois in Haiti, and that's moving along well. So we continue with the large grants from the foundation. We've also changed in the manual procedure for the definition for RRFCs and EMGs. What seems like a small change, but we want to move the qualifications of those individuals from expertise to proven performance. So as you think about us moving forward with those positions, it's really important that we get individuals who really know that particular part of the foundation and how it works. And of course, we continue to evaluate our program to scale with eliminating 90% of malaria in Zambia. And that's moving along really well. And we've already begun the process for the next one. But last week, we spent a lot of time on developing a system as to how can we help the citizens of Ukraine. And you remember last year before, we used the Disaster Response Fund to help with COVID projects. And it was extremely successful because we were able to turn around projects really quickly. Within weeks, we were approving grants. I think in 3 or 4 weeks, we'd already done $5 million worth of grants. From there, we continued to progress to 39 million altogether, both global grants and disaster response. So for the Ukraine situation, we are turning again to the Disaster Response Fund. And what we're saying is that from now through June 30, designated Rotary districts that border the Ukraine and the Rotary district in Ukraine may apply for grants of up to $50,000 each from the Disaster Response Fund. Right away, you can see that's the difference. And these grants can be used to provide relief to refugees or other victims of the crisis, including water, food, shelter, medicine, and clothing. And already a number of those kind of grants have been coming in from those areas around the Ukraine. Also, during the same period, other impacted Rotary districts, so those that are close and are getting refugees, not necessarily right on the border, could also apply for grants from the Disaster Response Fund, but up to $25,000 each. Those $50,000 grants, once they're used, those districts can come back and request another grant for $50,000. So trying to be really liberal in making sure we can get them help. From now through the end of April, Rotary districts can transfer unallocated district designated funds to the Disaster Response Fund. So we can also use DDF for the next 2 months to assist with the grants for the Ukrainian situation. So lots of ways that we can get the dollars, lots of ways we can actually improve grants and do what we need to do. All funds needed to receive into the disaster response grant by April 30th. So any donations we want to get in quickly, we're treating it like any other disaster where we have to move quickly, raise the funds quickly, and try to get them help as soon as we possibly can. And we just also made one additional change, and that you can get Paul Harris Fellow credits for donating to the Disaster Response Fund for this particular purpose, which is, again, that's unprecedented that we have done that. So that's working along well. If you're worried about the definition of impacted districts, can get the $25,000 or up to 50. We're talking about Hungary, Poland, Belarus, Ukraine, Czech Republic, and Slovakia, and the Republic of Moldova and Romania. And just to make sure you are aware, we do have clubs in these places. Ukraine, since 2014, has grown from 49 clubs to 62 clubs. So they were doing well. And those Rotarians in Ukraine are working right now to do what they can to begin to look at how they can do projects. They also have 24 Rotaract clubs, and they are also on the ground and working. There is a lot going on. One thing I'm particularly proud of, the Rotaract in Europe, which works with Rotaract Ukraine, have divided Rotaractors into categories, one for refugees, one for finance, one for supplies, and one for information. So the Rotaractors in Europe are developing what they can do to assist in the program. They also have already started the Rotaractors to provide shelter for those who are coming out of the Ukraine. There are a number of countries that are having buses at the border. So when the Ukrainians exit and they have no idea where to go, there's a Rotary bus to take the Rotarians and the Rotaractors to refugee camps or wherever they need to go. So a lot going on. Obviously, we're going to need significant amount of help. Anything that you or your district could do to assist would be fantastic. This morning, I had a conversation with an Arch Clump Society member, and really just to bring he and his wife up to date on what we're doing through Rotary for the Ukraine, and he immediately donated $50,000 to the disaster fund. So let's keep up those conversations. Let's keep asking, let's keep reminding everybody that we need to do the good work of Rotary, and that's going to be needed for a while to come. So thank you all for your help, and thank you for listening.